Today on Dead Dodge Garage, let's talk about Barracudas. Introducing a new project, something I'd love to call the Barracuda, but, well, unfortunately, someone already used that one. More on that later, but its appearance gives us an opportunity to, talk about Barracudas. Longtime viewers will recognize this, the garbage can Cuda. This is a 66 Barracuda with a 66 Dodge Dart nose. It's totally wrong, yet oh so right. Don't mind the bee. You can bolt a Dart nose onto a Barracuda because those lines down the side are the same on all A-body Mopars in this generation. More on that in a minute. This car features the single largest piece of glass ever fitted to a production car in America. Silly people on the internet will have you believe that this piece of glass is worth thousands of dollars. If you happen to be one of those people, well, I've got 2 of them I'd love to sell you. And a bridge. So feel free to drop me an email. The first generation Barracuda is, well, an acquired taste. In fact, it's a major point of contention. I recently got in a serious argument in which someone insulted me and said my wife was an idiot for marrying me and that I have no taste and I must be high on drugs for thinking this is a good looking car. They're kind of cool. They look pretty good nowadays. But when they were new, let's just say they didn't quite have the appeal of the Mustang. This car in particular isn't exactly good looking right at the moment, and it's missing a lot of stuff in here, but that's fine. Here's a quick look at the 1-year only dash in the 66 Barracuda. It's got round gauges. It's pretty cool. If you don't know this car, note it is a 3-pedal model. It's also a total hunk of garbage, hence the name. I have a freshly built 360 and a 4-speed to go back in this car, so hopefully we talk about that more soon. Kind of like to finish that first. Really, there are enough projects around here to keep me going until I die, but that's a different story altogether. Love it or hate it, the first generation Barracuda is small, lightweight, and neat. And they did sell thousands of them. It was successful enough to warrant a successor. This car. Now, you'll notice right away, well, quite a bit of resemblance there. Window shape and, of course, the fastest of backs. Gone was the humongous wraparound window, replaced by this handsome unit. It does have one of the coolest things ever fitted to a car. Boop. The taillights, which were styled off the Valiant and slightly missing from this model here, were replaced by these handsome units. And pretty trim. Cool lines. Something funny I'd like to bring up right now. Look at the recent Mustang that came out in, what, 2015 or 16? That was designed by an Aston Martin guy. You'll see a lot of similarities to the Fastback Barracuda. The window shape, the shape on the trunk, it's very similar. Anyway, this car has cool touches all over, like these fish emblems. Here's a look at the excellent pod gauge cluster in the second generation Barracuda. Those might look familiar to you if you've ever spent any time at all in or around a 71 Demon, or a 340 Duster, or a 340 Swinger, incidentally, in 1970. So that's pretty neat. Beautiful piece, really. Now, looking at this body, you can easily tell it's all very smoothed off and rounded. It's unique among Chrysler A-bodies. To really understand that, well, we gotta go look at a Dart. I just so happen to have a 66 Dart available right at the moment. You haven't seen this car yet. I'm working on it. Anyway, note the same fender that's on the Barracuda. And note the door skin. Same exact lines. Dodge and Plymouth shared those detail lines to save money on door skins. Yup, Chrysler. And here's a look at the next generation Dart, which, to save money, had the same sidelines as a Plymouth, from 67 to 76. When I say Plymouth, I mean Valiant and Duster, but not the Barracuda. The Barracuda is special. In fact, every exterior piece of sheet metal on this car, except for the cowl and those little bits around the windshield, are unique. It takes the design of the original Barracuda and just adds something. It's just special. It's neat. It's very European. The mild awkwardness of this car is gone, replaced by smoothness. It's beautiful. I mean, this one isn't really, but that's fine. I would show you the unique nose design, but I don't have one. Now, it is important to note at this point that even though all of the outside sheet metal is unique, all of the inside stuff, inner fenders, floors, frame rails, the cowl, firewall. And it's still all the same as every other A-body. But, you know, still pretty cool. Don't worry about that. I stole a better one. There is one other tiny, insignificant difference on a Barracuda. This vent, and the matching rubber flap at the front of the door. I think it's to equalize pressure when you slam the doors, so you don't pop the back window out, but I could be wrong. Now, what you see before you is the Fastback variant. Very similar to the original Barracuda, but it did come in two other body styles, a convertible and a coupe. I don't have a notchback coupe on hand, but this fine photo from the internet shows you what it's all about. The roof end's there, and it has a flat trunk area. I don't like these, and I realize that's a point of contention. Many people prefer this to the Fastback. I don't understand. The lines on the Fastback are better. This kind of has the Charger side window thing going, but it's just so abbreviated and small. It's just not enough car, you know? Maybe if the roof was 2 inches longer, I'd like it more. But this one's not me. Now, convertible, of course, is basically this car, but with a floppy, foldy roof, and that's it. I love the second generation Fastback Barracuda. And only the Fastback, and I can't really explain why. I just do. I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous. You know, it's also the truest to the original Barracuda. It's like that, but better in every way, really. For one thing, in 1967, this could have come with a 383 in here, factory, and in 68, a 340. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me I'm wrong and explain why the notchback is the best. And that's fine. That's why they made both. Either way, this is the one for me. It's my second favorite body style of all time. And I'm really happy to have this one. Even if it does look like I just dragged it out of a swamp and it needs literally everything. Did you know you can use a stack of washers instead of a spindle nut? I had no idea. The second generation Barracuda was built in 67, 68, and 69. And, well, they're all basically the same. Except for taillights and taillight trim, which in 68 turned into red here and reverse light there and silver there instead of this. And in 69 turned into a taller finish panel and a taller piece here. And the nose, which you'll just have to pretend you're looking at here. 67 and 8 are smooth and flat across the top with grills like that. 67 grills are kind of like egg crate looking. 68 grills have vertical plastic fins. In 69, they redesigned the nose and added a ridge right in the middle and a different grill design to match. Incidentally, the hood off the 69 Barracuda was reused on the 73 to 76 Dodge Dart. Figure that one out. Like all Chrysler products, they did use different side markers in those 3 years. 67 has none. 68 has a round one, and 69 has a rectangle. Incidentally, this quarter panel is from a 68, and it should have had a marker light there. Yes, this quarter panel has already been replaced once, and wrecked again. Incredible. Although my favorite year across the board for Chrysler products is 68 due to the round lights and neat details and good engines, 67 Barracuda is my favorite. I don't know why, it just is. So that's the first and second generation Plymouth Barracuda. Now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the third generation, the E-body. I don't have an E-body Barracuda. E-body Barracudas are expensive, but I do have a broken grille, so that's cool. On the E-body Barracuda, fastback roofs were gone. They were a coupe or a convertible. They're a wider car, but actually shorter. The E-body Barracuda is the one everyone actually wants. The desirable car that costs a lot of money. So naturally, I don't really care for them. Is that controversial to say? I don't know. There's no denying they're cool. I mean, they had Hemis. Well, some of these had Hemis, but that's a different story altogether. They had cool grills. They had high impact colors. They had gills. They had billboards. All the cool stuff came on E-bodies. But, I don't know. I think they lost something. The cheap and compact sporty Barracuda is cool. And I like it. And that's all I have to say about that. A-body Barracudas. Small, light, still kind of sort of cheap, and happy. Look forward to seeing a lot more about both of these cars sometime. If you want to see me take this car from a, Rotten Hulk to a running driving machine in, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, you might want to subscribe. If you want to see me turn that car into a wheelie popping drag racer, same answer. And thanks for watching. And remember, if you can't handle me when I'm broke, you don't deserve me when I've got $60.